So, hey, sorry about the technical difficulty. There's nothing new under the sun. All right, let's read, brother.
All right. And the lust thereof, but he that doeth the will of God abideth forever.
He that doth the will of God. Now, listen, show me in the Bible where God's will is for you to keep Christmas. Now, it doesn't mean that we can't go to our family. I mean, we have to use wisdom in those things. How can you win your family over if, you so deep, right? Because, there would be like another extreme, because that's what the church will look at like the Jehovah's Witnesses. Well, they don't keep Christmas. This is a good time of the year. God don't care. All right, okay. Here's the balance of it. We as those who know that this is pagan, right? We don't celebrate it, but we have family members who may, right? Would it be wisdom to say, well, I ain't coming to your house because that's pagan? All right, if you don't go to their house and celebrate with them that time, or spend time with them, I should say, they ain't gonna listen to you for nothing else. You know what I'm saying? So you still are going to not disconnect from them, but you're going to be a part of it. But you're going to hey, listen, I don't celebrate that. See, I ain't had no tree up since I was 21. Because when I read Jeremiah chapter 10, I'm like, oh, what the? All right, man, I ain't putting no tree up. Man, my boys ain't never seen a tree in my house. I ain't put up no tree. I ain't put up no lights around the house. Yeah. I ain't putting up jingle bells, deck the halls with bound. I ain't doing none of that. And we definitely ain't doing no Easter.
Okay.
Now, when I go to my mama house and everybody over there, baby, it's okay for them boys to run right here and get them eggs. What you gonna do? Okay, son, listen. Now, look, you here just to play. Yeah. You understand?
Yeah.
So I explained to them what's going on. Now, over time, my parents have gotten accustomed to how I am. They be like, hey, we ain't doing no Easter egg hunt, because we know how he is. We love him. Matter of fact, we might just sit down and just have dinner. Yeah. Bless the Lord, because you know my boys have been going around there, running around for something. What bunny got an egg coming up out of him anyway? Right, yeah. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. But this is an assumption that we do. keep going.
All right. Little children, it is the last time. And as ye have heard, the Antichrist shall come.
All right.
Even now there are many Antichrists.
So we have heard. Now look, Paul hasn't. John hasn't changed anything here. He said, "Listen, love not the world, neither things that's in the world." All right. So he goes through that. Then he tells you about the Antichrist. He said that there are many Antichrists already. Now the church is looking for one person just to pop up on the scene.
Right. Yeah.
But that ain't what that scripture say right there.
Right.
Read that one more time.
It says, "Little children."
Little children.
It is the last time.
It is the last time.
And as ye have heard,
the Antichrist shall come. He said, little children, this is the last times. What times were John in? The last times. They had heard that the Antichrist was coming. He ain't talking about people preaching today, talking about the Antichrist coming. John talking about his time. He said, you have heard that the Antichrist was coming. They were already ministering that. Christ had already prophesied what was going to take place. Right. All right? Keep reading.
Even now are there many Antichrists.
Even now are there many Antichrists. You heard that the Antichrist was coming. Even now, John was saying there are many Antichrists, okay?
Whereby we know that it is the last time.
Whereby we know it's the last time. So they were already in the last times. Last times ain't started since 1948. The last time started when Israel became a nation. Man, come on, man. The Bible say that they were already in the tribulation had already started. So what we got to understand is that the Antichrist had already infiltrated the church, right? Bringing in high places, pagan worship, things to bring us away from the Most High and his true teachings. Now, they used to keep the Sabbath up until 321 AD, until they passed the law to say Sunday worship. That's what the Antichrist do. He gets you away from keeping God's commandments. Now the church got the revelation that we could worship on Sunday. In which, I still teach on Sunday, but I keep the Sabbath, right? The understanding is, how can we say that the Sabbath is not for the day when we know in Genesis he talks about the Sabbath, but then we keep Sunday.
Right.
I mean, they done made Sunday law. Man, I remember, boy, you missed church on a Sunday, boy, you were going to hell. Y'all, I almost say y'all black folk, but y'all know what I'm talking about. If you've been to a black church, Doc, what they told you if you been to church on Sunday?
Yeah, you're going to hell.
You going to hell.
Yeah.
They have made Sunday.
That not.
You know what I'm saying? So they made Sunday a law.
Yeah.
But God ain't said nowhere about Sunday worship.
Right.
Well, he rose on a Sunday. No, he didn't. Rose on a Sunday. God, listen, I challenge you to go back and count the days.
Right.
Okay? Christ died on the Sabbath.
Right.
Go count the days. From Friday sundown to Saturday sundown is a Sabbath. Christ died in between there around about 3 p.m. before sundown on Saturday. Now you count 3 days and 3 nights from there.
Yeah.
Sunday.
Make us stuff.
Boy, man, they make up all type of doctrine. But listen, we have to get into the word, because many antichrists were back then. How many antichrists do you think we have today? That's why we will have many false teachers in the last days. All right, go ahead.
They went out from us, but they were not of us.
They went out from us, but they weren't of us. Listen, these are people who come into the church, right? Go out from us, from the church, and then preach damnable teachings. Right. I was reading an article the other day, a friend sent me, that the Pope said that God spoke to him. This is Pope Francis. God spoke to him, and God told him that he needed to change the 10 Commandments. He got led now. He said that God gonna be forgiven for adultery, because people need to be forgiven. Where it says, honor thy mother and thy father, he gonna change that so that the homosexual couples can, not be offended by it. And there was one that he added, and I can't remember, man. I was like, what the? Yeah. Now God done told him to do it.
Right. Right.
Well, why he didn't tell the other popes to do it?
Right.
But all the way to 2015, if we in 2015, because they done changed all the times and laws anyway.
Yeah.
God done told him to change the 10 Commandments.
Right.
Well,
not Jesus, not Paul.
Yeah, but I thought the 10 Commandments one for the day though. No, the Pope done did it.
Okay.
Yeah, like you say, not Jesus or Paul. The Pope did it. Pope ain't even in the Bible. Where you done read Pope at?
Yeah.
We just say silly stuff sometimes and believe silly stuff. That's what the scriptures say. People gonna have itching ears to hear silly stuff, and it's leading you to hell. Keep on listening to them crazy people you are.
But you're right though. You say they say that the 10 Commandments out for the day. So
Right.
why would you?
Yeah, what you doing with it for?
Yeah, what you messing with?
And then he deals with adultery, because adultery is rampant in America. Adultery is the remarrying part, not just you having sex with somebody.
Yeah.
No, it's when you go and marry somebody and you can't be remarried.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, he say, where it say honor thy mother and the father, he gonna make that neutral, because it might be 2 mothers and it might be 2 fathers. Honor your parents.
Okay.
What the? All right.
Man.
Keep on listening to them people. Talking about they the church fathers. Yeah, they the church fathers, all right. Because we're not Christians after the Roman Catholic Church. We're Christians before. That's why we're teaching what needs to be taught today, because it brings us back to Christ.
Right.
All right.
For if they had been of us, they would no doubt have continued with us.
If they had been of us, no doubt they would have continued with us. I mean, think about all the teachings today. Go ahead on.
But they went out, that they might be made manifest, that they were not all of us.
See, they went out that they might be made manifest. The problem is you can't discern it because you're not in your word.
Right.
I mean, you can read your word and you can hear what it say for face value, and then you got to call up somebody and ask them to give me some interpretation. You don't need no interpretation. You read exactly what that word said.
Right.
As you would do unto somebody, do you also unto them.
Right.
The problem is these are the high places that we are allowing ourselves to get into. Paganism. Paganism hasn't changed at all. And I'm telling you, if you remain in the false high places of worship, you're going to stay trapped in Satan's bundle. All right? My job is to try to help you get out of it, whether you want to believe it or not. You best believe me, I'm going to keep the Sabbath rest. But I understand grace, right? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I ain't eating no pork, shrimp, lobster, crab. Keep on eating it. Now, Isaiah tells you exactly that Christ is going to consume them all. Man, when I read that scripture, listen, pork what? Pork chop. No, I don't know pork chop, pork ham, bacon, none of that. Pork is the highest sold meat commodity on the market. It's in everything. Mm-hmm. Dennis had a bacon milkshake.
Yeah, milkshake Sunday.
I walked in Dennis one day. I said, a bacon milkshake. What the? Yeah. And people were ordering it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Boy, it felt so good, boy. It's good. Right. That food is what's killing people and making them die before time. The elite know this right here. Mm-hmm. I mean, think about it. How they living to 90 and 100 years old? Right. Because they don't eat the foods that we eat. But yet y'all want to eat these crazy foods. Mm-hmm. I don't eat them crazy foods. I'm staying away from that stuff, man. All right, where we at? Let's go to Romans chapter 12. Romans chapter 12. All right. So let me get back to the high places of worship, because I can get off here with just, dealing with all type of subjects. But the high places were and are places of worship that the Gentile nations worship. Even so, Israel, modern day Christianity, and this is just dealing with how they would worship. All right. Modern day church today do not go up to high places. So back in the times when Israel and the Gentile nations, they will go up to a physical high place of worship. We don't have a physical high place of worship. But what we do is worship false things that has nothing to do with Christ. All right? Christ gave us things to honor and a specific way to honor him. But when we choose our own way of honoring him, now we enter into that place of called a high place of worship. All right, so Romans 12. Let's start at verse 1.
I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God.
By the mercies of God.
That you present your bodies a living sacrifice.
Present your bodies as a living sacrifice.
Holy.
Holy.
Acceptable
unto God.
Which is your reasonable service.
Which is your reasonable, listen, your reasonable service is to make yourself a living sacrifice unto the Most High. So what we got to do is when we're talking about staying away from the high places, it's the traditions that the Gentile nations did, it's the customs, it's the practices, it's the Babylonian doctrines, it's the celebration, and let me say it this way so I don't have to be so deep. When we practice paganism days or paganism tradition, we worship those gods that's right. Over those traditions. Right. That's what it all boils down to. All right. But when we connect to God according to his feast, it reminds us of Christ. Right. Mm-hmm. So for instance, if we wanted to do something like for Christmas, an actual day, it would be Purim. All right, because that's when the Jews were delivered from Haman, and they gave out gifts after he was slaughtered, or killed. So there are days or feasts that or things that God has instituted that we can keep in practice, but it's separate from the world, and that keeps us from being into the high places, because every high place is based on Nimrod. All right, so let's keep reading.
And be not conformed to this world.
Be ye not conformed to this world.
But be ye transformed.
But be ye transformed.
By the renewing of your mind.
By the renewing of your mind. Now what it said, be ye not conformed to this world. So Easter, it's conformed to this world. Because the world do that. Christmas, it's conformed to this world. But if we don't do it, then we're not conformed. Don't be conformed to the practices of the world. But man, we do everything the world do. Right. Go ahead on.
that you may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God.
See, the reason why you can't get the will of God is because you're not proving things because you're conformed to the world. So you don't know the will of God because you're doing exactly what the world do. Stop doing what the world do and you will see the will of God. Ephesians chapter 2. Ephesians chapter 2, verse 1. Ephesians chapter 2, verse 1. We're going to have a series of teachings on this, and I'm just laying a foundation now, all right? But the high places are places of worship, tradition, customs, practices that we've allowed to come into our lives to dictate how we live and say how we're going to worship God. All right? Ephesians chapter 2, verse 1.
And you have he quickened.
And you have he quickened.
Who were dead in trespasses
Who were
and
dead
sins.
in trespasses and sins.
Wherein time past you walked according to the course of this world.
See, you were supposed to used to walk according to this world. But now, I got saved and I'm under grace. And I can keep practicing what I want to practice. Now, what sense does that make? Whatever the world is practicing, we don't need to be practicing.
Right.
You know, I know there are some things that we can't get away from. You know, again, you know, if you have family members that's practicing or loved ones that you are trying to reach out to and they're practicing those things, you can't tell them, well, I ain't coming over because you practice those things. That ain't wisdom. Christ sat with the publicans. He went into the sinner's house. And they were like, what are you doing eating with the publicans? What are you doing eating with the sinners? He said, well, listen, I came for the sick.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So wisdom tells us that we can't treat them like that, so we go with them. But we just don't partake in it, you know, and we use wisdom to do those things. But that don't mean that we do what the world do. We're trying to pull people up out of the world. Hey, listen, man, hell a long time. I ain't going.
Right. Right. According to the prince of the power of the air, the spirit that now worketh in the children of disobedience.
This spirit works in the children of disobedience.
Among whom?
Watch this right here. Children of disobedience. See, only God have children. But what was taking place, Israel was still keeping practices of the world who were children of God, but they were walking in disobedience who Satan was using them to keep pagan traditions. Listen, you a child of God, but Satan working in you. But Christ said, I found none of him in me. Right. Listen, we can't have Satan in us when we stand before the Most High. All right? So if we keep those practices, right, it's going to keep us in that path of where we are moving away from the Most High and continue to walk in disobedience, where Satan now has bound us into a place of where we're now worshiping him and his false gods. All right. What verse are we at?
Verse 3.
All right. We can start right there.
Okay.
Let's read 1 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 20. See, Satan is working in the children of disobedience. So if you keeping those things and yet you call yourself a Christian, Satan working in you. Devil ain't working in me. Then your husband I was just playing, girl. Hey, man, you know how people get, girl, you got the devil in you. Y'all got no devil in you. And then she mad about, we need some counseling. The devil working in you because you keeping these practices. Go ahead.
All right. Where's the wise?
Where is the wise?
Where's the scribe?
Where's the scribe? Listen, where's the scribe? Where's your records to say that we can keep these traditions that you say we can keep? Prove it. Where's your scribe who has written the records to say that we can keep those things? Well, I saw on the Christian Network channel, on DBN, where they said that it's okay. No, show me in the book where it says. Where your scribes at? Where are the wise at? Where's the one who has been enlightened? Where they at? Tell them to prove it. The problem is they can't. The only thing they'll say is, we up under grace. And they can't prove that. Grace was in the Old Testament. How you know grace was in the Old Testament? Brother, David should have died when he committed adultery. That's what the law said, to stone him. Was he stoned? No. He was not stoned. God showed him grace. Now, judgment came because his son died. But yet there was grace there and mercy there. Grace empowered him. Mercy held back the judgment. Oh, that's in the Old Testament. Listen, I could go from person to person to show you that grace was in the Old Testament. But yet people today can't see it because, like God say through Paul, where your wise men at? Where your scribes at? Keep reading.
Where is the disputer of this world?
Where is the disputer at that has proven that we can do such things to remain in high places of worship? Go ahead.
Hath not God made foolish the wisdom of this world? For after that, in the wisdom of God, the world by wisdom knew not God.
See, the world by wisdom knew not God. By the wisdom of the world, you don't know God. You don't know God in Christmas. You talk about some old big jolly man coming down the chimney giving gifts. Now, when Christ came down the chimney, Christ was born in a manger. Then you got Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer and Blitzer, Dancer, and Cupid and Comet and Dancer and Blitzer, flying deer. Have you ever seen fly? Paul tells us to stay away from fables. You up here, Rudolph the red-nosed, and they tell you, listen, I ain't never told my children about Santa Claus. Ain't no Santa. Why would I let Santa Claus get the glory now? I've been working all year long. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. Shoot, man, please. Ain't no Santa Claus coming down no chimney. Half of y'all don't ain't got a chimney. Right. But you telling that story that a big jolly man finna come up and down the chimney. Then after a while, Leon, you know, like in around 2000s, right? Santa Claus was just popping the house. Yeah. Come on, man. It has nothing to do with Christ. Go ahead on.
It pleased God by the foolishness of preaching to save them that believe.
See, God has saved us through the foolishness of preaching. But yet we want to take the wisdom of the world and then apply it to God. We can't do that. Go to 1 Corinthians 3, 19.
Ready?
Yeah.
For the wisdom of this world is foolishness with God.
For the wisdom of this world is foolishness with God. Wisdom is what you live by. Wisdom is how you live. You up here living by Christmas and Easter and Halloween and you know all these other pagan religions. I mean, I can even get into Thanksgiving, because Thanksgiving, you know, they tell us that Thanksgiving is a celebration of, you know, when the Pilgrims came with the Indians and gave them peace, and they taught them how to grow crop. They were sharecroppers. Yeah. You teach us how to grow it, we'll grow our corn. No, it didn't, man. They slaughtered all the Indians. Yeah. But yet, over time, they done changed the story to tell you that Thanksgiving is all about giving thanks. Yeah. In which, actually, it's a pagan tradition. Now, I ain't going to talk about that today, but it's a pagan tradition. Not only did we keep it in the U.S., Rome kept the same Thanksgiving, same time. It go all the way back to Babylon. Thanksgiving. So it's not about us giving thanks to the Most High. Now, I know we do that, but yet that's a day that Satan and his children have set aside to give thanks to him. You be like, man, where you get that from? Keep on tuning in. I'm going to show you. But we ain't going to talk about Thanksgiving today. Most people know about Christmas and, you know, and things like that, so I try to stay on those. All right, where we at right now?
Still on 19.
All right.
For it is written, he taketh the wise in their own craftiness.
He taketh the wise in their own craft. Listen, he taking them idiots in their own craftiness, trying to trick you about Christmas, right? Keep going.
And again, the Lord knoweth the thoughts of the wise.
The Lord knoweth their thoughts, and he know that they're out to deceive you, but God is pulling on your heart to come back from out of those high places to come to a place of true worship.
That they are vain.
They are vain, meaning nothing in them. What's in Easter? Man, we got churches all across the world talking about some Easter, but we don't keep the Passover. Matter of fact, when Christ said, take, eat, do this in remembrance of me, he was talking about the Passover, right? But what we do today is we practice Easter. Easter was started, I can't remember the Pope name, but anyway, they couldn't calculate the time according to the Hebrew calendar, keeping the Sabbath, because you had to keep the Sabbath to come up to see when God New Year cycle begin for the yearly cycle. Now, there's also a new year that start, which is coming up during Tabernacles in September here. It's the new year for the feast. But the yearly new year begins in sometime around about March, where there's equal part day, equal parts night. Mm-hmm. The problem is that they couldn't determine the time. They couldn't keep track of it. So what they said was, well, we'll just have Ishtar, which is the worship of Ishtar, on this certain day. And we'll call it Easter or Ishtar. Yeah. But we're going to celebrate Christ during that time. Mm-hmm. When did Christ say that we can choose a day to actually worship him? The scriptures tells us when to do it. That's why he said in Isaiah, away with your feasts and your appointed times, because they were worshiping God on the appointed times that the Babylonian system were going on. And I'm, matter of fact, let's go to Jeremiah right quick, so I can stop talking about these things here. We'll read Jeremiah chapter 10 right quick, and then we'll wrap it up, and then I'll pick up from here, because I'm giving a lot of information, but not examples so that they can actually see.
All right, verse.
Jeremiah chapter 10. Let's go to where I want to go. I think it's verse 17. So wait, let me see.
17 right now.
Yeah, 17. Good. That ain't the one I want. You see which one I want? Yeah, 10. Start at verse 1.
All right. Mm-hmm. Hear ye the word of the Lord.
Hear ye the word of the Most High, your power.
Nice, I read that wrong.
No, you read it right.
It said, hear ye the word which the Lord speaketh unto you.
Yeah, I think that's a different King James Bible right here, but okay. It's all right. I know you read your Bible, Doc. Hear ye the word of the Lord, because that's what King James say, okay. the authorized version. But
O house of Israel.
O house of Israel. Now, somebody going to say, well, this is for Israel. But Joker, Christ is an Israelite.
Right.
Christ is the king over the house of Jacob forever. Right. And if you ain't in Israel's house, you ain't in Christ's house. Right. We are the body of Christ. You better get in Israel's house. Right. Go ahead.
Thus saith the Lord.
Thus saith the Lord your power.
Learn not the way of the heathen.
Learn not the way of, no, he said learn it, right?
No, he did not say learn. He said learn not.
Well, Christmas is a Christian thing. Where your scribes, where your wise men, show me where it say that Christmas is of the Lord. See, we got the book right here. I done read through it. He say, learn not the way of the heathen. If it was of the Lord, why the world keeping it? You got people who are atheists keep Christmas.
Right.
Now, the Jehovah's Witnesses don't keep it. That's why we can't win them over. Because they know that we're keeping something where... Yeah. Right, so it's bits and pieces everywhere. But if we do everything as a whole, man, we can win people to the Lord for real. Right. Keep reading.
And be not dismayed at the signs of heaven.
Be not dismayed at the signs of the heaven. Some of y'all worry about the 4 blood moons. Stop worrying about that stuff. Listen, we know that Israel was always up under attack during certain signs and certain seasons. You know, they'll talk about Christopher Columbus and how he began to sail out and discover the new world. He was killing folks. He wasn't going out discovering anything. Yeah. He was slaughtering God's people. Mm-hmm. I mean, we got all the history. I read his memoirs. He killed 8 million Taino Indians, who he called Indians, over there on the island of Puerto Rico. Now, how he going to discover new land? Right. No, he wasn't going to discover nothing. He already knew people were over there. Don't they call this place America now? Okay, well, he wasn't coming to discover. He was coming to destroy. All right, I'm going all up on another subject.
Okay.
All right.
For the heathen are dismayed at them.
For the heathen are dismayed at the signs, and they do watch the signs. Just like with Herod, and you know, he was like, hey, I heard that his sign, that Christ's sign was up in the heavens. So it's not like they don't pay attention to the signs. They already know what sign's gonna come forth in 2017. They've already said in 2017 that I think it's in the book of Revelations 13 or 17 is the woman where the sun was under the feet and the moon was on her head with her 12 stars. That sign came, I think it was in 2014, I think, or 2012. They're already saying that sign gonna come back again. They study the sign. They ain't studying the stars just to try to tell you know what course they in. No, they trying to figure out what's going on.
Right.
That's what Satan do. All right.
For the customs of the people are vain.
For the customs of the people of the world, the heathen are vain.
For one cutteth a tree out of the forest.
One cutteth a tree out of the forest. Now you don't cut your tree. You just going down to the Walmart and buy yours. They already cut, or you buying plastic. Keep going.
The work of the hands of the workman.
The work of the hands of a workman. Boy, take some work, chop that tree down.
With the axe.
With an axe. Same thing how y'all chop y'all Christmas trees down.
They deck it with silver and with gold.
They deck it with silver and gold. Now, don't we put silver and gold around our tree? Deck the halls with sound. La 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 la. Oh, Christmas tree. Oh, Christmas tree. Da 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 da. I got a picture here of it, and I'll probably put it on YouTube here. I'm gonna show it to you so you can see it.
I think I've seen it before.
This is right here. Look at that.
Okay.
That's the Christmas tree right there.
Okay.
This is the actual tree it practiced of the ancient devil worship. Okay. What they bringing? Gifts to the tree.
Yeah.
All right. Keep going. All right. I'll show y'all the picture. Stop being nosy.
They fasten it with nails and with hammers.
They fasten the tree with nails and a hammer that it don't move. Just like your Christmas tree, standing straight up.
They are upright as the palm tree.
Upright like the palm tree, straight up in the air.
But speak not.
Your tree ain't speaking to you, and you up there singing, "Oh, Christmas tree, oh, Christmas tree."
They must needs be born because they cannot go.
They must needs be born, but they cannot go.
Be not afraid of them.
Be not afraid of them. Now, what was taking place in during this time here, Israel had a fear because if they didn't keep this practice, they were feared their death. I mean, they feared death because they would kill them. Keep reading.
For they cannot do evil.
For they cannot do evil.
For neither also in them.
For neither in them.
To do good.
To do good. See, it's nothing good in this practice right here. But God was telling Israel, don't fear the Babylonians and their practice of keeping Christmas and the Christmas tree. This ain't nothing new. This same Bible I got, you have. That's why there's nothing new under the sun. What has been shall be. Is there anything that we can say that is new? No. Satan hasn't changed his false worship to himself. This is actually the worship of Satan. All right? Keep reading.
For as much as there is none like unto thee, O Lord, thou art great, and thy name is great in might.
Correct.
Who would not fear thee, O King of nations? For to thee doth it appertain. For as much as among all the wise men of the nations, in all their kingdoms, there is none like unto thee.
All right, start right there. Read Isaiah 57 right quick in 5. And then I'm going to close right there. So this is just the one on the Christmas tree. Okay? We get into the Easter bunny too. The god of fertility. Ceramicis and Tammuz. We get all into that. Matter of fact, if I keep reading Jeremiah 10, it would tell us about how they're weeping and crying for Tammuz, Queen Mother of Heaven. You know, so we'll get into that next time. All right, keep going. Isaiah 57. Yeah.
Inflame yourself with idols under every green tree.
Inflame yourself with idols under every what?
Green tree.
Under what?
Every green tree.
Ain't your Christmas tree green?
Yes.
Okay. Keep reading.
Slaying the children in the valleys under the clefts of the rocks.
This practice is actually a practice of sacrificing little children. That's the basics of it. But what Satan has done is masked it, right? Mask it to make you think that it's all about Christ. No, it ain't. It's all about worshiping, sacrificing of children to Satan. Finish that scripture.
Okay, it's verse 6. Because that's the end of
read that one more time. Well,
okay.
Go to verse 4 right quick.
Okay. Against whom do you sport yourselves?
Mm-hmm.
Against whom make ye wide mouth?
Mm-hmm.
And dry out the tongue.
Mm-hmm.
Are you not children of transgression?
Children of transgression, a seed of falsehood. Why were they in falsehood? The same reason why we could be in falsehood, by worshiping on false or worshiping at high places that has nothing to do with Christ. Read again, verse 5.
Inflaming yourselves with idols under every green tree.
Inflaming yourselves with idols under every green tree. So they would bring idols and set them up under the green trees. All right.
Slaying the children in the valleys under the clefts of the rocks.
Killing their children for sacrifices unto a false god. All right.
Among the smooth stones of the stream is thy portion.
Mm-hmm.
They are thy lot.
Mm-hmm.
Even to them hast thou poured a drink offering.
And they were pouring drink offerings to the false gods. And this is what you celebrate, calling Christmas. Listen, Christ ain't celebrate this right here. Christ said, I'm the way, the truth, and the life. So why you celebrating it? Well, there ain't nothing wrong with Christ. I don't see that. See, they trapped into that Christmas spirit. It's a spirit that makes you think that is okay. That's why Corinthians tell us, unless the glorious light of Christ shine in our hearts, we are blinded from the truth. You know, listen, you can do what you want to do. You can have 7 Christmas trees up in your house for perfection. But I'm telling you, what you're keeping is a high place of worship, no different from what Israel did. Okay? And if God judged Israel, what you think he gonna do to you? Israel, God's people. Mm-hmm. He scattered Israel, so what you think he doing to you right now? Oh, we got better promises and a better covenant. Yeah, but you got greater judgment. Don't trod underfoot the blood of the Son of the Most High. All right, I'm going to stop right there. I think that's enough information because I've gone off too much in tangents, man. Mm-hmm. Anything you want to say, Doc?
Nah, I don't say nothing.
Huh? Oh, you want your wife to hear about that Christmas tree?
Nah.
He ain't going to show his wife this video here.
Nah, she'll see it. Because
he going to be saying, oh, Christmas tree. Oh. Nah. Man, I'm still trying to think of that song about the White Christmas.
I'm dreaming of a white.
Yeah, I'm dreaming of a white. Man, that song be playing, boy, and everybody like, Christmas. Yeah. I mean, everybody feeling good, don't it? Right. And that's a spirit that got us trapped into. And then when you would call your friend, hey man, what's going on that man? Cool, pretty good. You know what I'm saying?
Well, they wrote it during the war, and it was supposed to bring peace.
So it's a trap.
Yeah.
It's a trap by the enemy. The enemy entraps us by the spirit of the world. That's why he says, in the children of disobedience, Satan is working. So we have to be careful with the high places of worship because, yeah, you feel good. Yeah, you feel connected to it. That's a spirit moving you in that way. But I'm going to help you get up out of those high places and worship Christ the right way and allow yourself to walk in grace, not having any condemnation because you know the truth. All right? That's it, brother?
That's it.
Hey, tune in next week and we'll go to part 2. And we'll continue on the high places, and may God bless you, and we see you soon.